Alright, how's it going, guys? I just wanted to give you a bit of a overview of the progress we have made on the circuit area. For those that don't have the time to watch the 2 live streams where we've been setting this stuff up. So I moved over the smelter and crystallization crucible here, which is currently working on making some more germanium buells, which auto feeds into a buzzsaw here, which makes our plates, which I have some silicon ones and some germanium already. I didn't auto feed it into the second one just in case I need to make solar panels and I need the crystalline plates for that. So then I will just choose if I'm going to use them or not, throw them into the second one, which will then give me the tiny dust and the tiny plates. And I haven't done anything with automating that yet. We have these ran with heaters. You'll notice we have tags here on the front. This is to limit them to the proper amount of heat, because if you look at the heater, the LV heater can only go up to 32 HU when fed 64 EU. The MV can go up to 128 when fed 256. So there's a couple ways you can do this to limit it down to the 128 EU a tick for the 64 heat units a tick that the crystallization crucible and smelter can take. One of them is to put a limiter on the heater, which is what these tags are. And these are literally just the tags that you use in recipes. These right here. It's just a selector tag set to 8 and then slapped on the front. Depending on what you set the tag to, depends on the amount that it limits it. And 8 is the number you need to limit it to exactly half. So from 128 down to 64, and that is exactly what it puts out. The other way would be to use a battery box with just one battery in it. That would give you 128. Because if you look at a MV battery, its size is 128. So I could have put 2 battery boxes back here with 1 battery per battery box and fed right into the heater, and that would have also worked. But obviously that is way more expensive than just shoving a tag on the front. Sorry, I'm dealing with allergies. I haven't ran lubricant over, so we just have a drum of it up here for right now, which has plenty of it in it to supply our 2 buzzsaws at the moment. At some point, I'll run lubricant over here properly, and you'll see we're running this off of electric motors, LV, non-limited, so they run at 32, which is plenty fast enough for what we need here, because these things are slow. Now, I can go to a better crystallization crucible. There is a Invar one that we could go to. Once you get to the next level, though, it takes an iridium. versus taking a quartz crucible to make it. So this is a bit more expensive, and the crystallization crucibles, unlike some of the other heat-based machines, still does overclocking. You'll notice it doesn't say there in the text that it doesn't care about overclocking. It definitely does. Where the smelter, you'll see, says can be overclocked without additional energy loss. So we'd have to give like 4 times the amount of power into this to make it viable over the steel one. So sorry, I got to make this a little bit quicker. I still feel that it is more viable to make multiple of the steel ones than it is to go up to some of the higher ones, due to the fact of the overclocking. But as long as you leave them sitting here running most of the time, you'll be fine. Unless you need, mass amount of circuits right now. And honestly, in GregTech, that's not how you should do things. You shouldn't need it right now. You should plan ahead, which is kind of what we're doing here. So you'll notice I have 3 presses here all linked together. This is our one for making circuit boards. I had a whole lot of void quartz and plastic sheets in there. So we have made a whole bunch of circuit plates here, which are automatically feeding into this press. And you'll notice there is a pipe here feeding into that. And that is because over here we have our wirings, which I am working on filling. There is platinum and gold in the other building getting turned into foil for us to put into the engraver over here, which will feed them. And we'll get to this little button thing here underneath it in a minute. But through the use of that button system, we can basically call up whatever circuits we want, or the circuit plates that we want. The wiring will come down in here, it'll get pressed with the plates, and then come into this chest, which will then get pulled into this chest, which we have 19 of the copper ones already made in there. I'm working on making up a bunch of T2s so we have them. And then that'll put them into this chest. That'll put them into the bath. And then right here will be our circuits. Over here we have a dual smelter setup going into a mixer. This is so we can throw tin in one and antimony in the other, and it'll just make us molten soldering alloy and pipe it right into the bath whenever we need it. Again, we're using a electric motor here instead of a heater, but we have the tag on it. Tin and antimony smelt down really quick, but the mixing is done 1 liter at a time. So therefore, I ran this faster. This is running at max for this tier. The presses are all ran off of electric engines, which you can't use tags for, but you can use a screwdriver to tune them. So I can turn them up if I feel like it. or I can turn them back down. But 16 is plenty fast for me for what we're doing. Since this is all automated, I just left them default on 16. Over here is where we are actually making the circuit parts. And you'll see up here we have all the different fine wires that we need, and tiny crystalline germanium plates. I do need to add one more of these. Somewhere I miscounted and thought I only needed 6 of these, but I need 7 because I need the red alloy, redstone alloy. This stuff here, I need the tiny crystalline plates made for that. So I will have to do one more of these. And again, this is just a setup to where I can dump them into there. So show you how it works here. I want a stack of the fine red alloy wires, so I hit the button. I want a stack of the copper, and I want a stack of the germanium. And you'll see the machine has now started. It has exactly 1 stack of each. If I had all of these, I would have the full stack. And those will then run down, come into this chest, into here with those back plates, into there, and you'll see that I now have tier 2 circuits being made. So it's all automated. All I have to do is tell it what ingredients I want to use to make it. Same over here for the wiring plates. Now, the way we did this was we have a shutter here, which is normal, just slapped right on. The barrel is set to automatically output. You'll see right here, will fill inventories below, but the shutter is blocking that. You can see it's not connected. And then we have a controller here on the front, which you'll see works when input is on. And then we have these fancy advanced buttons that I honestly forgot existed. And these things are really awesome. You'll notice it says use screwdriver to toggle mode, cutters to toggle mode, monkey wrench to toggle mode, soft hammer to toggle the state, chisel to change the design, magnifying glass to tell you the details. There is a little bit of a, I guess you would almost call it a bug, but I consider it a feature, which I'll show you here. You can throw it in your crafting grid to uncraft it back to its normal state. And in its normal state, it has a signal strength of 15, a length of 20, that's 20 ticks. It is in button mode. It emits when pressed and glows when pressed. And that's where the other states come in. So if we use a monkey wrench on it, it is now in switch mode. So it is like a lever. When I push it, it comes on. When I push it again, it goes off. If I don't touch it again, it's going to stay on. Well, what this little bug is when you use a screwdriver on it, you're going to get it to go. Let me take this back off because that's kind of showing the feature we're trying to do here. So by default, signal strength is 20. You use a screwdriver on it, it's going to go to 21. You shift, it goes to 41. And you can ramp this thing up ridiculous amounts of time. I actually don't know what the max is, but you push this thing, it's going to stay on for 405 ticks right now. So, very long time. But if you switch it to switch mode, and then you switch it back to button mode, it's going to change that signal length to only 1 tick. And that is what we need, is a 1 tick pulse, so that it'll turn this shutter on just long enough for 1 stack to drop. So that's how we got it to do this. It's the only way I know of to get it to 1. I'm hoping Greg will make that a little bit different. Make it easier to get to 1. Because it was kind of a fluke that I figured out that I could do that by messing around with it today in the live stream. But that is where we are at with our circuit area. The next thing we're going to be working on is piping over the gases from the distillation tower, air distillation tower, cryo tower. That way we have argon for in here, because our helium is currently coming from monazite, and without me going and mining more of it, I'm out. But since we have the cryo tower, we can run argon now. So we can use our helium and our neon for making the crystal processing sockets, because we need helium neon for that. And this is going to be what we work on next, is getting those done. Other than I want to make like a tube system that goes from this building to my processing building, because I have to keep running from here with stacks of stuff. You know, I've got all these platinum fine wire here, which honestly I've just been throwing down here in my ender bag and picking up in the ender chest. I've got all of this gold foil, and I have platinum plates here that need to go in here to become platinum foil, and I have more platinum cooking up over here that needs to go in to become plates. Now, I could make a rolling mill and a cluster mill and a wire mill and put them over there in that room. But then I would basically be running from my my processing area over there to over here, or to over there, to process them and make them into the circuits. So what I am thinking is that I'm going to make a tube system, basically just a pipe that runs from here to there. There'll be 2 of them. There'll be a pipe on this side with a chest, and a chest on the other side, and then vice versa. And there'll be a hopper underneath the output chest on either side that I'll probably set up like right here. So whenever I have all of this stuff, I can then throw it into that chest, and it will automatically come over here, and then I should be able to sort it into the proper places. So all of the foils will automatically go into here. That'll turn them into the wiring that I need. All of the fine wires will go up there into those. And so then I only have to come over here when I need to figure out what I'm actually making for the circuits. It's kind of a way of being able to do AE stuff without AE, honestly. I don't have to set up all the auto crafting. I honestly hate setting up all of the patterns and stuff in AE2. And this way I can just, and it doesn't take me power to do all of this. You know, AE2 eats up a lot of power for all the processing you do. With this, it's just the power of me walking my butt from one place to another, and then letting the pipes and hoppers and filters and all of that stuff send things where I need them to go. Now, I am thinking about setting up an AE2 system, but only for storage monitoring. There won't be any drives. There will be no drive bay. I will just have a room that'll be down in the basement, where all of these element drawers or barrels will be, and I will have a monitor over in the other building where I can look in it and see exactly what I have and then grab it out of there. But that means I have to set up a storage bus thing on each one of these as its output. Well, output and input. I'm still going to use pipes to input from all of the processing stuff, but if I end up needing to take out, a stack, but I only need 35, I can throw them back in and it'll go back in the proper barrel. I am thinking about doing that, but in this system, or in this pack, to get into AE stuff, in any AE stuff, in any pack, you need the these things, the presses. And the only way to get them in this pack, or any pack that you're running GT6, if you're using Greg's configs, is you have to use a precision laser engraver at 512 to make them out of a block of solid iron. It doesn't have to be cast iron, it can be any of the iron. Which the cast iron isn't an issue. Currently, the power isn't an issue. It's just a matter of getting it made and getting it done. And I have so many other projects right now on the table that I'm really not in a hurry to do it. I don't really have an issue with walking around and doing it. So I'm not worried about it at the moment. But that's something that I'm looking to do in the future, that will be moving some of this wall away. Now, the other thing that I wanted to go over with you guys is, if you remember from the video on Monday, I set up this electric-powered autoclave to make my energy crystals for my charger, for my jackhammer. Well, I forgot one very important part of it, which was a switch to turn it off. And so I have added that. I just put a stone plate here, connected it up to it, and put a lever on it. So you'll see it has no pressure in it whatsoever right now, and it will not try to get any until I hit the switch. This is just an override switch that sends a redstone signal into the heater and tells it to turn off. I didn't have to change anything for the original settings for this. I just put this on and it's good to go. So that took care of that part. And while we were at it today, I went ahead and made my new charger. So there is my charging energy crystal that holds 4 million, which is only double what my jackhammer holds, but that means I can stay out 3 times longer with my jackhammer breaking stuff. Now, because this is HV and these are MV, this one will not charge my drills. So I did have to go ahead and make a second advanced charging battery for my drills and stuff. So this one charges the jackhammer, this one charges the drills and the wrench. And I can just keep these in my inventory. And luckily, because of the way Greg's system works, I can charge both of these chargers right here in this one with no issue. Now, if I went to like the Lapatron version of the charger here, that is EV, I don't think it would be able to charge in there because it's too high with that only being fed MV. But I don't have anything for this to charge, and since Greg's tools work on you have to have something to charge it that is its level. So like you can't use a energy pack. This here, you can't use this energy pack because it is power tier 3. You can't use that to charge an LV tool. I don't think you can even use it to charge an MV tool. If you want to charge a MV tool, you need the advanced backpack, which uses these, if I can find, there it is, advanced backpack. That is MV, that's what you need to use to charge an MV tool. So because of that, I don't believe these will work either. I haven't tried them. Same with the nano gravity suits. If I did try them, it was a long time ago, and I honestly don't remember. Now, with the way these are, you can notice it doesn't say what power tier they are. So it may be a universal charging type thing where you can use these to charge anything. But with the properly coded ones from IC2 that have a proper tier, you cannot. And we'll get to that eventually when I get those made. If anybody does actually know for sure, feel free to leave it in the comments for everybody else. But I did want to show you guys that button is very easy to make. The only thing with it is you need some tin alloy and some aluminum wire, red alloy, fine wire. You got plenty of that, but it's just tin alloy screws, tiny tin alloy plate, a small tin alloy spring, and then the 2 fine red alloy wire and the fine aluminum wire with a wrench and a screwdriver to put it together. Now, I am hacking and coughing my butt all over the place. The allergies are kicking my butt right now. So I am going to let you guys go for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, There's a comment section. There's a Discord. You know where it is. You know how it works. Also, hit the buttons, do the things, and I will see you guys next time.